my daily live. I wasn't in yesterday, just bring it up on my phone so I can see what's going on here. See if we got anybody in on our lives. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I'm just coming in to do a quick morning live. I don't have much time today. I wasn't in yesterday, but there's not a whole lot of free time this weekend this week to be in on my lives. Good morning, Ashley. So I did want to come in. I want to give a quick card for the day to be able to help people through today or through the today and tomorrow. So I hope in some way this helps and resonates with you as this card comes or as these cards come out. So I'm going to give you 2 cards before I take off. So it's a short visit this morning. There's a lot of energy happening today, and I just realized my candles will not lit. So let's light the candles. I feel like we need to light a light today. If you were watching, or if you've been on my Instagram this morning, you've seen me have a quote, or it's on my Facebook as well. You want to see me have a quote of, everyone has a different understanding of love, and depending on where we are within our own heart and how we are viewing life and how we view relationships and our connection, do we have an understanding of love? And so everybody has a different perception of words, and we assume things, we have expectations on other people to know what love is or to understand love. And sometimes that love is truly about us getting our wants met. And so my post this morning on Instagram was, truth of love includes kindness, compassion, and dignity. Without those ingredients, you have an energetic want taking action. So that was the message of this morning. Truth of love includes kindness, compassion, dignity. Without those ingredients, you have an energetic want taking action. And so this morning, as I have been reading a lot of posts and as I find myself stepping into a new energy within my own journey and spending time with my sister-in-law this morning, who's here visiting, who's also in watching this morning, Brenda's downstairs, is that I find myself, looking into my own light instead of the world's light, instead of looking into but having such deep compassion for where everybody is coming from. So as I read this morning, and we are in Alberta, or I'm in Alberta, I'm watching being slipped back into phase 1 again, being returned. We're seeing restaurants having to close again today, and I'm not going on a political rant at all. I walk the middle road, so I'm going to do this from a middle place, is to have love, kindness, compassion, and dignity for everybody who is involved in these situations right now. We don't know what's right. It's like, it's hard to know what is right. It's hard to know the right decisions to make. Nobody knows. And there's political agendas on each side, and no matter who's fighting which side. But, it's having a lot of love, kindness, and compassion for people who are really struggling today. People are really uncertain today, and we are in a very uncertain time. And I think we need to have that kind of compassion for each other right now in a very uncertain time. We are well over a year into this pandemic and the effects that it's had upon everybody, and how it has torn at hearts and it has had its big financial toll on many of us. That it's something to really know that we are to hold. I'm being told this morning to hold that sense of to have compassion, but also for us to be able to hold faith. And I said to my friend yesterday, I'm like, listen, I've been on the faith train since the beginning. It's too late for me to get off now. I've come too far to get off the faith train. I'm holding that faith train, and whatever this has taught us, and whatever lessons, what have we learned from this? What have we gained from this? What are we getting from this? And what do we never want to return to from this? What do we want to be sure to avoid from this? But the biggest thing is to also remember to use our own, that we have our own minds, and we have to, we know what's best for us, or what feels best for us, or what feels right. And we have to trust that. So that was a big thing, is that And that message of love, truth of love includes kindness, compassion, and dignity. Without those ingredients, we have an energetic want taking action. I want this. I want this. And so we have a lot of what I call like into that we're acting like teenagers. So we have a lot of that tantrum energy because we're being told what to do. We're being confined. And so put ourselves in our adult skins. We're the adults and children are watching us. So from where we are and having children watch, what's going to be the best in alignment to who I am today and what's going to serve my needs? Because I feel like this weekend may be a stronger energy um, of seeing some that angers rise up, and it's like who we lash that anger out on. Remember that it's not always the people that you're lashing it out on. It's when people are just trying to do the best they can with what they have. And so it is survival. And to be a survivalist means that, it's like a Navy SEAL. It's like anyone who has been on the journey, they know what it takes. They know that what they have to do. And when you have all the tools and you know what you have to do, you start to be able to make wiser choices, to make wiser decisions. Not saying you don't have an opinion or a view, but it's like, is that big opinion going to change anything today? Or is it, your view in a more loving way could have a bigger impact in the world than one that's going to come out of up on the attack. So don't go up on attack upon yourself or others today. Hold that love thought of what an understanding of love means to you. And does my thought of what I love or what I'm holding on to today really truly have love, compassion? Does it have compassion, kindness, and dignity? Is it the kindest thing I can do today? Is it am I showing dignity? And respect is earned. Remember that respect is earned. And so our card comes out as the medicine woman, and we have the medicine woman come up. She's rooted, she's grounded. She knows her light, that she can walk into the darkness. She knows she can walk into illness, sickness. She can walk through the journey, and she knows her light is bright enough. Her name is Marie. And so I'm going to bring her up. I just don't know where the cards went. Hold on. We have to find the right cards. So Marie is 21. She is in mother energy. She's still learning, just like all of us, is that we haven't, it's no matter how long I've been on this journey, no matter where we are still learning, we are still growing, we are still evolving. So she's aware of that. She has the survivalist tool. She has everything that she needs, but I'm sure she's a little bit afraid. And of course, that's truth. And we are allowed to be a little bit afraid where we are right now. We should be a little bit afraid, because that afraid gives us the ability to really truly think before we act, to process. I've been here before. I've experienced this before, but this is not where I was before. Now I know. So like last April, we were here. But now we're in a new April. This is not last April. This is April. Now I know. Now I know what I was so afraid of last year. I got more experience. I've been experiencing this energy for a while now. So now I know. So from what I know and from what I know of the past, I made it through that. So from who I am today, how can I be the light in this darkness? How can I be the inspiration? How can I inspire today? And so 21 is that, she's at that pivotal age, right? 21 is that age where we think we know it all, we got it all figured out, but we ultimately know we don't, but we want to step out into the world. So there's a lot of that energy happening right now. But we also have a 2-1 can be a 1 or it can be a 3, right? So we can go either direction today. So we're at a crossroads, we're at a middle road. You can go either way. So that's the energy that's coming up today. We're right before the master, we're right before a master number that's coming up, and we have that power of that self. So tomorrow is 10, Sunday is 11. So 10 is 5-5 transformation. So it's a 1 day or it's a 0 day. There's like these numbers over the next few days have so much influence up on us in our energy and how we react and we respond. So for the next 3 days, 4 days, what we're being told is that we have a choice to go this way or that way. And which one, Or do we just stay in the middle road, and do we ride out the wave? Do we ride with the wave of this energy? But we have what it takes to make up our own mind, to decide for ourselves today. And so as you decide for yourself, you're going to look deeper. And if you look at the top of her shirt, and it's that sweet heart shape, is that heart shape. And so we're seeing the top of the heart. So we're seeing love in this. We're seeing a love for everything, but she's rooted and grounded. And so our earth star, that connection to Mother Earth, is that Mother Earth allows us to do what we need to do, and she provides us a space to be able to come home. And we like to say, we're doing it for her. She needs us. And we tell ourselves that story. We're doing it for somebody else. They need us. People need us. And, oh, they need me to do this. And it's like, really? Is it because somebody else needs you to do it, or is it because you need to feel good about what you're doing? You need to be validated, and to really, truly look into your heart about that why today, and what that why is for us. And the medicine woman is also telling us. So my journeys this morning and where I was last night and today is truly that or the last couple of days, is I can tell you there is a massive healing energy that's being bestowed. So the medicine woman in me, the medicine woman that I am, that I hide a lot from, that I don't really put out into the world a whole lot. And I don't know why. I don't know why you don't see so much of her. You'll be seeing her in the diamond. Be seeing that version of me in the diamond effect process. And I am a healer. I work on this earth as a healer. And I've kind of stepped away from her a little bit. And I feel like that was partly out of the sense I wanted to be very sure that as a healer, and watching a lot of the healing energy throughout the world, that I didn't come in with ego, that I could really truly understand the power of the middle road. And so the medicine woman today is telling you, we are rooted and grounded, and the trees, the roots that are underneath this earth are so rooted, so strong that, that we will stay together. We will come back together. But there is going to be some storms. There is some storms to have to face. And the storms may be inside of ourselves. We may be going through them right now. You may be living in them, but there's some storm energy. But the rooted, the grounded of the truth, to know that at the end, we truly have done the best that we can do, and that we're doing the best that we can do, and we're being kind and compassionate to each other, because we have a version of compassion coming up today that I keep hearing, that we have this version of compassion that we have to understand, that compassion truly will be how we behave. The compassion that is needed is that knowing that how we're going to behave in those times, and how we treat each other as our neighbors, as our friends, as our fellow humans, how we treat each other will speak volumes to the next stages of our lives. And so we have things going to be there's going to be things be rooted up. There's going to be some things that are going to fall over the next few days. You're going to find yourself like kind of being in that energy of like trying to hold on, but you gotta let it go. Like you just gotta let some of the thoughts go. You gotta let some of the hurt go. You gotta let some of those. But if you look really deep in her, there's a heart. In those roots, you see a light and you see a heart. So there's a heart. There's love from the ancestors. There's love from Mother Earth. There is love from the Divine Mother. There's love from Source being bestowed upon us, so to tell us that even when we feel like we're not in a good place, something is nagging on us to tell us, get up again. Get up again. Just go do this. Just go do that. Just hold on. Just hold on. That's the voice you have to listen to. That voice that says, just keep holding on. Just be present there. Just be with that. That's the voice we want to hold. We want to hold that, because there is such love, and her hands are roots. Her hands are root, and she is the tree. She's the trunk, that tree of life. So our tree of life is rooted and grounded enough to know that we can be challenged. We can go through cycles. We can have those changes, and there will be a change of seasons, a change of time. But we are rooted and grounded enough to know that in that tree of life, we are all family. And we are all connected, and we are all from the one mother, father. And so from the one mother, father, from where we are, that we can go through the challenges that bring us into the awakening, which is the Delilah. And I told you, there's a choice to be made. There's decisions and choices kind of energy here. And the Delilah is that when When she let fear make her decision, she made a choice and a decision that cost somebody else, cost a lot of people things that were out of her fear that she wasn't going to be able to provide for her family. But in making that decision, that choice, it took away from not just her family, it took away from her heart, from her soul, from everything. And then, it also cost somebody else because she cut the hair off of Samson. She cut the hair off of Samson. But she believed, because the enemies told her that would take away the power of Samson. That would be the end of Samson. And ultimately, he, in his blind faith, he just knew he still had more strength than ever before because it was still provided for. Everything we need is provided for us. When you truly start to trust something beyond your human ego and to not let your mind or the past make your decisions and choices for you, to come back into alignment, into that Trinity, into that energy. And so if you were in my live a couple days ago, you heard me speaking about walking beyond the light and seeing the version of the awakened, the enlightened, angelic form of this Jesus energy that I was seeing. So beyond the white light, I traveled to the death. I traveled into that death and beyond, and that white light. And in that white light, in that essence, that was the return to Trinity. I'm like, there's three versions. There's three versions, and there's always those three opportunities. Everything in the world is created of three. You have this, that, and the truth. You have this, and you have right or wrong. You have light, you have dark, and then you have this light that's more powerful than anything else. And so we have that right here. And to know that what we are, and so both are talking about roots. And so not all roots are weeds, right? They're not weeds. Roots are not weeds. Roots are not weeds. Roots are what provide the life from the seed. This is what goes to the bottom of the seed to hold it, to ground it, to root it. And what grows up above is what the world needs to see. But what is in the roots are just as important as what is on top of the ground, what we see, what we color up, what we give attention to, what we want, how pretty we want to make it, is so that, is to fulfill our stories. The roots don't need to get pretty. They just have a purpose. They know what they need to do, and they know why they are here. And when you get to the root of it and you get to know the truth, you know that you don't have to pretty it up. You don't have to care what somebody else thinks. I'm not here to be liked or loved. I'm here to speak a truth, to be a truth, to live in my truth, to discover that I am equally as valuable and worthy as anyone else to have a good life. And that's what you start to remember. And so the roots don't have to be pretty. The rest is for us. And so she's just beautiful. And she's now starting to know that she doesn't have to create that beauty. She doesn't have to do it. Is that's something that she does just because she wants to. And faith, we're being told to hold faith. Today, each and every day, hold on to that faith. Stay in faith. I'm like, so sounds like I'm becoming a preacher here. But I just got to speak what the channel gives me. And so the third card to validate, you just cannot make this shit up. And yes, I did copyright it. So because I wrote the book, You Can't Make This Shit Up, I did copyright You Can't Make This Shit Up. And so I placed a copyright on it. So I am going to, my sister-in-law said, are you going to put that on one of the mugs? Yes. Yes. And so the everyday miracles is our validating. There's our angels, there's the angelic, and that is our forward card for this weekend as we move forward. And I know you see this card lots because she loves to make her appearance, because she's the divine, and the divine tells us that no matter what is happening, no matter what's going on, is that she can tell you first and foremost all about what it means. I didn't bring Delilah up. She can tell you so this was Delilah. And so she can tell you that no matter what, the light never left. The light was there. The love stayed. So when you can understand what love really means beyond the words, beyond your wants, beyond that sense of what your human stories are telling you, there is something more rooted and grounded in us that is more powerful. And that love. So, and I said this to my sister-in-law this morning, so just think about it. So if we are all, this is how the story came to me. So if we were all like the child of God, whatever God is, energy or whatever, if we're all like that child, and when we don't get our way, who do we blame? When we don't get what we want, when everything we blame God. Everything is God's fault. It's like, and then when we think we want to be in charge, it's like, well, I did it all by myself. I do. Who do we act like? That's like being a teenager, right? Trying to find who you are, trying to find that your identity, trying to be the rebel to the cause, or, it's like, I know what I'm doing. I don't have to follow any rules. It's like, I don't want to do this. And so, but then when we need it, what do? We go home. Like when you need that, if you run out of money, you run home to your parents. If you need a safe place, you run home to your family. So it's the same thing. We keep running back. So look at ourselves as being like that teenager energy. So when are we going to take our place to be the grown up, to know that, why can't I be? And so you want to, it's like, it's always trying to overpower the master. So it's like you can't be greater than the master. Your mind's always that teenager who's thinking, well, I'm smarter than my parents. I got this figured out. So when we talk about, the day that you start to overpower the master, or your mastering energy. So when you try to overpower the mastering energy, the voice that is that of that powerful light, and I'm greater than that. I know better. I know what I'm doing, that kind of energy. And you just not trusting, then that's the day that, we think we know it all. It's the day that we have our humbling moment. You get humbled. And so the everyday miracle and who she is, she speaks for the Marys. She speaks for the essence of what the divine feminine energy represents. We have been there. We have seen it all. And you can try to convince me of anything that, yeah, no, I'm right and you're wrong. So she tells us that, you know what? I have seen the best of people. I have seen the worst of people. And even the worst of people, I have also then seen the best of people show up. So in those worst of times, and what version of people do we want to be? Do we want to be the ones, like I said, cancel culture has been around since the beginning of time. And so, and that's just terminology people give it, right? That's the energy that comes when our love of our actions of wants are greater than trusting what will be needed. And so that beautiful energy, and what she tells us, that she even seen, so on her worst days, on the days of her worst days, she's seen the best of humanity. And that's where compassion sits. And that's what we have to hold true to. Be an owl. Yes, Tina, right? Exactly. Be an owl. So we hold truth to that, and we hold to that no matter what, there is a light. And from here, she is the everyday miracle. It takes the action steps. And I'm going to go back to my little phrase that I posted. And of course, I never remember it because I channel them. When people say, do you remember? No, I don't remember. Truth of love. So the everyday miracle happens when we take action steps towards doing the most, like, the most loving things that we can do. I'm trying not to use the word love. So trying to use like a word that makes it feel what truly we know is the right thing to do. And not, when you know the right thing to do, you don't have those fears after of, did I do the right thing? There is a trust, there's a faith, there's just a knowing. And so truth of love includes kindness, compassion, and dignity. Without those ingredients, you have an energetic want taking action. So when the wants take action, so to want to put a man on a cross, that to want to, to want to destroy somebody's life, to want to take over, to want to, and I know that firsthand. I know what it's like to have that happen. It happened in my own family. I had my father who spent his lifetime building a company, a business, that one man's greedy mind and his thought and his want and his love of money, power, control took over my father's company and left my dad with nothing. And as dignity for humanity, we don't treat people that way. And I learned a valuable lesson early in my life, and I was only in my 20s, about what I would never do to another human being. Because to see the look in that man's eyes when he walked in through the door, and when I said, he said, it's all gone. And his light and his truth and his love and his dignity and who he was said, no, it's not, because I still have my children. That he still knew that no matter how much was taken from him, he still had hope. He still had his children, and his children were still here. He's still here. He's still here. And he still had his children to still walk beside him, to still stand there, and to still be that love, that support. So no matter what, and that has held me for a lot of years in my life, that somebody else tried to crucify him, tried to ruin, tried to take everything out of greed. And that's where it led. And so the truth of it, the everyday action, and he never once wished bad or harm upon that man, ever. He never wished. He doesn't have that in his heart. He doesn't. He can't hold that. And so to know that in the most loving way was to know that the needs, this must be what was needed for me. And whatever that need was, and wherever that takes us. So the most valuable lessons that we can learn is to be the everyday miracle, is to sometimes sit in the silence, stop, pause, and look at where you're focusing your love, your energy of what you believe is love, to and change it to compassion and kindness and dignity. And that includes even for yourself. Having that for you is equally as important as having it for somebody else, because the storms will come. We will have to face the storms. And we are in a time, we have been here, we were here last April. We were here last April. And yes, there's a lot that's similar, but there's a lot that's changed. And we are a lot stronger people. We are a lot more, we're a lot more resilient. We've been through things, and that's what you have to keep in mind. Yes, I've been here, but this is who I am today, and this is where I am today. And so root it and ground it to know you are the light. Be the light today. If you can be anything, be the light. Be love, be light, be that presence, and let yourself walk with your shoulders up and your head up, and speak to your neighbor. Speak to that person with love, compassion. I see you today, and each and every day. I see you. And if you could see what I could see in you, you truly would not ever second guess yourself, and you would not be trying to be somebody else today. You would be happy to be you. And so be happy to be you, and just know that the divine mother from above and the divine mother from below, from the earth, from the stars, from the universe, that all is shining in on us today. And there's beautiful love and light that is being bestowed upon us. And as if you came in the very beginning, you see me look back in my camera, and I seen that the candle wasn't lit. You seen that the light wasn't lit, and I had to turn around and light that. I heard light the candles today, light up the world today, and it's us that can light up the world. We have the opportunity, we have it within us, and we have to be the light, and it starts with us. And if we all start to be the light, if we all start to be that change agent, if we start to be that, we can oppose our own thoughts. We can cross, and I was teaching that to my level 4s last night. We can oppose our own views, our own thoughts, and everything that we hold ourselves to in that course, saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and that's how I do things. And that's, well, you know what? It's an opportunity today to do something a little bit different than you would have done it yesterday. And that's sometimes the kindest thing that you can do for yourself, is to do it a little bit different than you did it yesterday. Be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And that's how I step into my light each and every day. How can I be a little bit better than I was the day before? And every day I try to be a little bit better of a human being than I was the day before. Do things a little bit better. Show up a little bit better. Just be a little better version of myself, because I do want to spiritually, emotionally mature. I don't want to stay the way that I was. I want to be able to be the adult, to be what I can be, because I can never catch him or it or she or whatever you want to call it, sun, moon, stars. I can never be that. And the only way we're getting to that end that's there is we're going to have to leave. And right now we have an opportunity to live as this human. Today, you are still here. Today, you have an opportunity. Who will you be today? How will you show up today? So much love. Let your light shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And that's what's being asked of you today. So be kind, be loving, be compassionate, show dignity. That's where it starts. Much love. Have a beautiful day. See you guys later. Bye-bye.